watch where you walk on the streets of New York. That's how we get down. 22s on the Jeep, so deep in the seat. On the creek with the heat. That's how we get down.
Let's bring down the director, Hamid Castro.
Mike Markoff.
Mike Markoff, come on down. Caroline. So, you put this together. How did it come about? It's not easy to make an independent film, but you're the writer, director, and I'm sure you wore many hats on this movie. How did it come about?
This was like, first of all, thank you everyone for coming. This was 45 minutes out of your Friday night. I appreciate it. It was a long journey. It was about like 5 years, you know, and developing the script to getting to the point of making it. It's a long process, especially when you're in this industry, especially for independent film, and especially when you don't have, you know, as much, what would say, like, you know, investors or studio or someone backing you, you know, it's very tough. And I think it came from making a decision of making it myself and making an independent film was because I didn't want a studio or someone else to take the creative control that the vision that I had created, you know, as far as like cast, the music, direction, shots, like, and the music, everything. I had a whole vision, and it would have killed me to just give the script to someone else and have them like botch it up. So I had to stay strong and create this film the way I saw it when I was writing it.
You wear a lot of hats. You know, it's not easy to be a writer, director, and actor. Did you do any sort of school for any one of those? Like, who helped you out? You know, you can't just do it all by yourself. They had somebody telling you, okay, take this shot, or help me out with the script, or even acting. You know. You're not the first one who's done it all.
But like as far as the writing process came about from once I decided that I wanted to write something, and that came from a discussion one day with my fiance. She was talking to she goes, you know, telling her like, hey, I want to write a movie. I didn't say I want to write, but I said I want to make it, and I need to find a writer to put this to life. And we're kind of going back and forth. It was a late night in New York, and I remember she just goes like, you know, why don't you just write it? And I was like, okay, sounds hard, but do that, you know? So then it had to transition to, all right, now I need to learn how to write, and that came from, I would read scripts, and I'm not a big film buff. I never was like, you know, watching a million film, but I always just had like a vision of how I like a movie to be, you know, and like how I saw storytelling to be, and I always felt like I wanted movies to be as real as possible or as authentic as possible. And I feel like in Hollywood, they change these things because they think that's what the viewer wants to see versus what actually happened. You know, they kind of like oh no, well, this person should have a girlfriend, or they should create this problem, and those are things that like, in the process when I was trying to shop around the script, they were saying to me, and I was like, that's when I was also like, I don't wanna sell a script, like, you guys are trying to create all these different things that like, that doesn't really happen, or it's not really realistic in this world, and I don't wanna do that, and once I started like reading scripts of films that I liked, and I watched them with the subtitles, and I read them again, I take notes, and I would look up these hours and hours and hours of that, and figuring out my process. And then once I figured it out, I would just write my story, and this would take about I wrote the whole script probably I would say in like a weekend, but I ended up going back to it, fixing it. Every time something came in my head, I fixed it, and it was like a 3-4 year process of getting into the final product.
For you two, what's led you to say yes to take on this project?
Yeah, well, for me, when I read the script, it was so interesting because it's got this very simple and powerful kind of plot line. This protagonist with this incredible motivation to save his dad from being murdered. But it wasn't so much about the plot. It was when I read the script and now seeing the movie, it's especially true. It's so character and relationship driven. And I think what's so special about the script and this movie is it is Hamid Castro. You can tell you can watch this movie and you can get to know a lot about him really quickly. You can tell he's somebody who feels things very deeply. You can tell he's somebody who has a very good grasp on his friends, acquaintances, and relationships, because you see that in the script. And first time filmmakers, screenwriters, they end up kind of writing in a voice that's like all their characters kind of end up being very similar. And then you have this fucking crazy these wild characters, and I was talking to him earlier, you go on his Instagram, he interacts with the people of New York like it's his favorite thing to do. He befriends, the homeless dudes, the bodega dudes, the crazy ass motherfuckers, everybody. And he brought that all to this film in such an earnest, genuine way. And he makes a really good point that, yeah, most movies, when they're under sort of the thumb of executive producers and the money people, it ends up being something else. I mean, this story basically lives in development hell for a couple of years, and by the time they end up shooting it, it's something completely different because, we had to get Jake Gyllenhaal right? And so we could have this incredibly genuine, wonderful, I'll say it once again, like 2 nights ago, love story to New York. And it's, easy. I think I answered your question somehow.
Hamid is so passionate about the movie, so that definitely helped. I've been hearing about the movie for about 2 years, or a little more than 2 years. So I read the first versions of the script, which I loved and were so exciting, and couldn't put down when you began reading them, and then they kept getting better and developing more, and then I got offered to play Carla, who I think is so cool. So I immediately went, I'm in, we're doing it. And I was gonna say that 2 nights ago at the premiere, somebody said, maybe it was you, said that the movie's like a love letter to New York. I'm born and raised in New York, and I love any movie involving New York, and this is such a good, fun, New York style classic movie.
Both of your characters are kind of chaotic. What did you do to get into character? It's like, is it just reading the script and it just lets you go? You improv?
Yeah, how much inspo did you take from yourself for this role?
Oh, are you moderating?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he just really let me have fun with the character on the day. We knew obviously the nuts and bolts of the scene, and what you ended up seeing there was just, take 7 of whatever random improv we were doing. Nice. And so, when you feel comfortable in a character's shoes, and everyone feels comfortable on set, you sometimes have the ability to experiment. And Hamid, ran a tight ship and collaborated in such a way where he surrounded himself with really incredible individuals who were all doing their job, where we did, as artists, have the opportunity to experiment. Because and all while doing justice to the characters and to the scenes. It's not like, we went off to hell. We're all working towards the same kind of goal. And yeah, it was really special to be able to, in the moment, on the day, find genuine, hilarious, beautiful, kind of interesting moments. And I think, I particularly, from watching this and watching not even my scenes, but I'm more enthralled with the Lake George scenes, with Amazing and him and Rio. Which I listen.
Wait, really?
Dude, this is very interesting, incredible performer, and what's so incredible about his character and the way that dynamic works, that absolute chaos, is as you're watching it, I found myself not really being able to breathe. This whole time, I'm like, what the hell is going to happen? This is not going to lead anywhere good. Whenever, and playing an unpredictable character is actually not an easy thing. You can't just go and play crazy. And again, such a wonderful business, but I'm gonna find out more about you.
Yeah, one of the things as I watched this is the editing process. There's a lot of cuts in here, and it doesn't seem like your normal, typical, independent first film. There's a lot of cuts in here, which is really good to your editor. How much time do you spend with your editor in terms of like what goes in, and what comes out?
So, yeah, Patrick Shea, best editor on the planet. To meet him, and as soon as we met, because I was going through the whole process of different editors, and I just kind of wanted an editor that I would trust me as well, and I could be with them all the time. Because sometimes, directors would give the film, they chop it up, and they're not really there every day, and sometimes it's annoying to them, and he was so game, and I think the first time we met, our chemistry was just so aligned, and we spent so much time together every single day for the last it was probably like a 4 months, 5 months together, like 5, 6 times a day, long nights, sometimes going into the next day, and we're just and we would screen it in like a small private theater that one of these buildings had, in a residential building that had in the building, so we would edit it and then watch the edit in the theater, right? Edit it and watch the edit in the theater, so we get the vibe of how we come out, just on the laptop. And he was an incredible editor, and he was able to let me, sometimes it's a push and pull, and I want to do this, and please, I see it, this is what I want, and he's like, all right, let's do it. And, we go bounce ideas off, and what you saw was the editing was a great, I love how it starts from the beginning all the way to the end, and everything just kind of rides all the way through, right? And I wanted the script to be, and the film to be, every scene I wanted something to happen. I wanted you to constantly be like, okay. Like, I didn't want someone to be like, maybe this is a good time to go to the bathroom. I wanted them to be like, oh shit, I go to the bathroom now, I'm like, this is what's gonna happen, here, so I wanted to be engaged the entire time.
After you've seen it on a big screen, it's done, it's complete. What's your takeaway? Hopefully we'll get more projects out of you, that you're gonna do something different. It's not always easy for anybody to continue to do what you did. So you've done this, would you do it again all by yourself? Or would you want help this time?
I'd take a little help, but. I'd take a little help. Take a little help. But if I had to do it by myself, I'll do it by myself a million times. If I want to create my art, I'll create my art. That's how passionate I am about
Whether it's a novel or a song, you got it done, but you have more in you. Obviously, you've now learned it. Hopefully, it won't take as long to write another script, to raise the money, go into production. That's all stuff. All of that stuff is work itself. In the editing process. So how much of your life is in this movie? I always say for every actor, there's a little bit of themselves in the character they're playing, which is why they say yes. What part of you is in the script?
I think the loyalty to your friends and family, and when it says based on true events, a lot of these things are things that happened, whether it was to close friends of mine or things that have happened in my life, the character story, and they knew that I was friends with him, so they basically did the grandson thing with my best friend's dad, and we had to like figure out this, try and come up with some money, and a lot of those things were true, I mean, getting shot, helping a girl getting assaulted, that's something that happened to me in Greenwich Village, in the West 4th Street Station, remember, like 2008, and so I just took different events that had happened, and I wanted to put it into like this storyline, a crazy ride in one day, and that's how I kind of got inspired by it.
Hey, you did a lot in there. Music, you've got some scores in there, you got some songs in there. It's never easy. You got to put some rights. Let's talk about the music in a little bit.
Well, I will say, my fiance, Katie Khan, she made about 3 or 4 original tracks. There's also someone else, very stand-up, City. He made he's right there, stand up. And then all the other songs, I really wrote, when I was writing, I would write them to music. Like I would visualize it to music. So maybe that's why when you see these scenes, if you heard the song, you would think like maybe that wouldn't go with this scene, but for some reason it works. And it's because like that's how I was seeing it, and I would write it and towards this like, listen to the song and I'd be like, all right, this is how and that's why I did it. I mean, I used to be a DJ when I was a kid, so I love music. And I feel like music is a great way to just, tell a story. Sometimes I see movies and I know it's expensive and it's hard, but you can't be cheap on music, man. You gotta have, the good music. It makes it so much different.
If you're only gonna do one, you gotta go all out.
Exactly.
You gotta make sure it's all out, because you never know when opportunities are gonna come again. So you gotta make sure the production design is great, the music, the background, the talent.
Right.
So that way at the end of the day, people say, I did see that.
Yeah.
And then you work on the next one.
Yeah.
So does anybody have any questions?
Hey, first off, I'd like to say amazing movie, not what I expected. And I just have 2 quick questions. One, why'd you do it? Number 2, how did you actually get it onto an AMC screen? Like, I'm sure that part must have been difficult, unless it wasn't.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, no, that process is very hard. And especially for an independent film, you get offers for distribution, and they're not like they're okay, but it's not like what I wanted. And I felt like the distribution companies, I'm like, all right, this is a third party. So I studied business at NYU. That's my background. So I had a business background, and I think that helped me a lot in the post-production and the production process of making this film, because I feel like a lot of creators sometimes just put that task to someone else. And sometimes that's good, but for me, certain things I just did, I was like, I don't like that. No, so stern when we were doing that process. I wasn't just like, okay, here's some money, we'll do this, we'll do that. I'm like, oh no, that doesn't make sense, I don't want to do that. And I felt like, you know what, I need to put it in the theaters. I need to show like the distribution of people. I wanted to bring back cinema, and I wanted to take the chance of, because this movie looks so much better in the theaters, and I started contacting theaters directly, and through whoever way I can find a contact, I would try to get to the top of programming, and I pitched this to them. And to be honest with you, originally AMC said no, and when he sent me back the email, there was his phone number on there. So I had to call why? And he was like shocked that I even called him. He's like, and we started talking, and I think I was like, he said, well, something. His fear, and I get it.
Was he the right person? The person that sent you the email?
Yeah, he's the one that's in charge of programming to take what goes into the theaters, and I think he had a point. Like it's hard, especially in studio films. Like he didn't want films to come out and they just get empty seats, and he doesn't know. Especially when you do a film with not all like, A-listers or something, you just throw like, a Pete Davidson or someone in there just so you know that's gonna like catch a bite. But I wanted it to be, everyone that I have has their own following or fan base in a specific, area, right? Like, Mike Markoff was in Hitman. He's probably one of the most seasoned actors in the film. And Caroline's from New York, but she's also seasoned model. She's been modeling for the last 6-7 years. She's doing music videos, she studied theater, and she's got her own fan base. And then the guy that played Rain, he's actually from the UK. He's from London. So he has his own, he modeled as well. When I scouted him, he was scouted by Virgil Abloh and walked, Paris Fashion Week for Louis Vuitton, and he has his own, UK following. And Cindy Kimberly, she's from Spain, and she's got her own following. Chuck West, he's a rapper. Mo Bamba, with billion streams on YouTube, on Spotify. Grew up with him in New York, and he got his own fan base. And I wanted to create this just worldwide different, energy and fans. And although I feel like distribution companies sometimes they only look at actors and actresses, right? Like, what can this person bring? What were they in before, and what can they bring? So this is my chance to show them, like, no, I know that my cast has fans, and I know that the right people are going to come and see it. And I wanted to bring all types of people to come see the movie, not just like one demographic,
Sure. Anybody else?
Thank you for that answer. And please let me know when you have your next auditions for your next movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know why you shot. That was kind of an open-ended. Good answer.
How did it feel?
Good.
Killed it.
Fun.
Oh, I went to LaGuardia. Yeah, 2010.
Anytime I went to LaGuardia, I was a dance major.
What year?
Let's leave it that out. Let's leave that out.
I was an art major.
I probably graduated like around like 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that you have this movie in theaters, what is the goal? Obviously, you have it in theaters. It's gonna come out at some point. In terms of once it leaves the theaters, what's the next step for this movie?
The step is to bring it to, we're bringing it to the streaming platform. Before we go to theaters, I already have 3 offers, and I didn't want to take them, but I wanted to almost double down and show them, the success of how it would do in theaters. So we have a whole other renegotiation, and I want them to be like, I like proving people wrong, and I like overworking myself, and I want the film to be as successful as possible, not only for me, but for every single person that believed in me and took a chance in me. I want them to feel like, oh shit, I'm happy I believe, I'm happy I took that chance, that was a good investment. And that's my goal, that's what I'm passionate about. So it will be in streaming, and we'll get there, and if anyone enjoyed the film, tell your friends, post it, talk about it. Spread the word, real life cinema back into the theaters, change up Hollywood.
And that's great, you think about what Netflix does, they have the Paris Theater up here on 57th Street, and all of their movies play there, but nobody goes because they wait 2 weeks later to see it on Netflix. So let's be real, it's like, oh, I pay $20, unless there's certain projects that they have that's meant to be seen on the big screen. So what they do is they take a lot of their movies to festivals because they know people will see it at festivals, and they don't hit the theater, and they don't hit mainstream. But here you got it on theaters, which is great because not a lot of films in theaters, and right now we've got a lot of projects between what's on theaters and cable and streamers. If it's a streamer, you'll say, I'll get to it at some point. No one just goes home and say, I'm going to watch it at 3 in the morning. When it airs. So it's good that you have this on theaters. Congratulations. Congratulations to staff. Put the word out, so that people know about it and see it tomorrow and let it live on. Because at the end of the day, whether it's streamer or there, let it live on for people to talk about it. They can say, I did see that movie.
Yeah. They absolutely enjoyed the movie.